A high school senior understands why one of his prom photos is offending people, but says it was a product of confusion, not racism. We'll hear from him coming up.
And vendors are already planning a workaround for a big construction project that might impact your farmers market season next summer.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Farmers market season. It's gone.
I know. It seems like a thing of the far past at this point.
Good morning. Welcome to News 3 This Morning, by the way. It is Wednesday, November 14th. It is 14 degrees. God, take me back to summer.
Right.
Yeah. We're getting an early start on winter.
Yeah.
It feels like it might be the long winter already, but just a couple of days with temperatures in the teens. It is colder than normal, though, for this time of the year, if you were wondering. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. The good news this morning, skies are clear. We'll see a lot of sunshine today. It'll warm us up a little more than yesterday. Temperatures are right now in the mid-teens in most locations. A little colder in the Dells and Camp Douglas, though. You're closer to 10 degrees right now. Not much of a wind factor in early today, so no need to talk about wind chill right now. Here's your forecast as you head out the door this morning. Grab those sunglasses. We have sunshine all day, but again, the extra layers would probably be nice today. Highs will only be in the middle 30s this afternoon. That will be about 10 degrees warmer than yesterday. Here's a look at our traffic maps this morning. So far, things have been quiet, and it doesn't look like that's changing right now. No delays in the downtown areas or on the Beltline this morning. No accidents report either, so you're still going at posted speeds heading into Madison.
It is so nice to see a little sliver of sunrise, though, after a lot of cloudy days in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, it'll be good to see the sun today.
Yeah, check that out. That's nice. Josh gets so mad when I bring this up because he doesn't care if it's sunny out. If he's outside reporting live, it's cold, is what he told me yesterday, but it's pretty, yeah, sorry, not sorry.
What are you going to do?
It is cold outside this morning.
It is. All right. Thank you, Annie.
You're welcome.
We want to start this hour in Baraboo, where one of the students in the controversial photograph where a number of high schoolers are giving a Nazi salute is apologizing. Brock Turkington says the picture was misinterpreted, and he speaks for everyone who says when he says he's sorry.
It wasn't supposed to be a hateful gesture at all. It was just mass confusion. Like, we were told to do one thing, and it was interpreted as another on social media just because of the comment that was placed with the post.
Turkington is a senior and a quarterback on the football team. He says the photographer who took the picture before prom this past May told the group to make the high sign. Turkington says no one really knew what that meant until he instructed them to stick out their arms. He says there was a lot of confusion during the incident, which lasted all of 20 seconds. Turkington says many of those in the picture are not racist, adding that in the moment there was no mention of anti-Semitism or Nazis. However, he does understand why people would think it's related to those beliefs, and again is deeply sorry to anyone hurt by the photo. The photographer, Pete Gust, remembers it differently.
I'd said to them, okay, boys, you're going to say goodbye to your parents, so wave. And I put my hand up. I said, now you're looking towards me, wave, say goodbye. And some of them were bringing their hands up. Some of them were had already brought their hand down. By the time I took the picture, there are all different stages of waving goodbye. So if you want to interpret that way, well, then I guess go ahead and interpret that way.
Because the country is interpreting it that way.
And it's wrong. The country is dead wrong.
Baraboo's Mayor Mike Palm says a community forum has been planned for tomorrow to come up with ways to show that photo does not represent his city. That starts at 6:30 tomorrow night at the Civic Center.
There is a UW-Whitewater professor who's written a book on the experiences of his relatives who lived through the Holocaust. We talked to him yesterday about this week's events. Ron Berger's dad and uncle made it out of the Holocaust, but his grandparents did not. Berger now travels the Midwest, telling his dad's story, who survived in the concentration camp system after his parents died there. Berger said he's seen people having a harder time grasping the severity of the Holocaust recently, and what happened in Baraboo is the latest example. For him, education rather than discipline is the answer.
Yes, we could have a conversation about what the Holocaust was, and we could have a conversation about American racism and these similarities to what happened here and continues to happen here to what happened there.
The FBI's hate crimes report for last year shows a dramatic increase since 2016. The data shows hate crimes went up more than 17% in that time frame. 80% of victims were targeted because of their race, their ethnicity, or their religion. Here in Wisconsin, there were 46 hate crimes in 2017. Religious bias was the largest motivating factor in those crimes, with religious hate crimes doubling between 2016 and 2017 in the state. 6:05 your time now. There is a statewide effort this week to help first responders stay safe on the roads. Governor Walker has declared this week Traffic Incident Response Week to remind people to slow down and move over for emergency vehicles responding to crashes. Wisconsin does have a move over law to help protect officers and road workers out on the highways. If you see warning lights flashing, you should move to a different lane, or if you can't, at least slow down. Every year in the state, emergency workers respond to an average of 250 crashes.
Just as the Dane County Farmers Market wraps up its outdoor season for the year, the city is talking about construction that will cause some issues for vendors around the square next spring and summer. There's storm sewer and water main reconstruction planned around the Capitol Square from March to August next year. The road will be still open to drivers, but it will block off access to several stretches of the sidewalk, taking away space for about a quarter of the vendors there. Tonight, the city's Street Use Commission will talk about how this could impact local businesses and farmers that go to the market and hear a number of potential solutions to keep things running smoothly next season.
All right, hard to believe, but Thanksgiving is already next week. And once again, we want to make sure all Dane County families enjoy a good holiday meal this year.
News 3 is teaming up once again with the Goodman Community Center this year. They still need, though, thousands of boxes of stuffing, cans of cranberry, and more. Josh Sprider is live where they're hoping to add to the donations today. Josh, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we already have a pretty good start here, but the goal is to fill this entire gym here by the Goodman by Monday. They need to feed 3,500 families this year. And this morning we're joined by Sam McDaniel with the Goodman with more on this. And Sam, what types of food are you guys looking for right now?
All of the stuff that goes into a traditional Thanksgiving meal: frozen turkeys, mac and cheese, chicken broth, gravy, canned vegetables, canned fruit, roasting pans, pretty much everything that you think of that goes into a regular Thanksgiving meal. We take care of the perishables on our side: vegetables, ice cream, butter, eggs, milk, and then we seek the donations from the community for the rest of it.
Is there anything within all of that food that you particularly need the most?
Frozen turkeys are always the big thing. It's a little bit of a higher dollar item, and it's a little bit harder to get here. So, but each year we rely on individuals in the community who show up with 1 and 2 and 3 turkeys, and we're confident that we'll get there. We're always a little nervous this time of the week because there aren't very many turkeys here yet, and there's 3,500 that have got to leave here by Tuesday afternoon.
So you can also give money to help with your effort, and you guys are also looking for volunteers right now?
Yeah, we are pretty well set on volunteers for the distribution. We still have a few spaces open for next week for anything leftover cleanup and that kind of work. As far as financial donations, they go a really long way. We have partners that are ready to help us out with the cost of items. Often $1 donated gets us $3 worth of product. We also have a great guy named Turkey Ed, who if you donate $25 via our website and put Turkey Ed in the comments, he will go buy a turkey for you and bring it to us.
All right. Well, Sam, we thank you for joining us and good luck. And ladies, like you can see, we have a pretty good start here this morning, but we have a long ways to go. Today's the first day that you can actually drop off this food, but they'll be doing this through Monday. But as you heard Sam say, the sooner the better, so they know all of the food that they've got. We've got all of this information and links at channel3000.com.
It is always so amazing to not only see the generosity of this community, Josh, but also the amount of people in need right now.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, like he had mentioned, there's still a lot that they need, especially those frozen turkeys. A lot of food that is still needed here.
Absolutely. Hopefully people will get out and help. All right, Josh Sprider reporting live from Goodman this morning. Thank you, Josh.
There is a new company named Most Innovative in Madison this morning, and parents, you might want to know about the product they invented so it can help stop arguments over your child's screen time.
That's right. We'll have more from them, plus a 10-degree change in temperatures heading our way today. Still, though, a winter coat kind of Wednesday. Look at that sunrise coming up, though, there. That's beautiful. Hattie has on all of her layers and her furry hat on the patio next on News 3 this morning.
This
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. Another cold start this morning. And speaking of cold, take a look at the high temperatures yesterday. These are the actual highs. The northern part of the state did not even make it out of the teens yesterday. 17 for a high in Eau Claire, 19 in Superior, and only 16 yesterday in Wausau. It was cold here across the southern part of the state with high temperatures only in the middle 20s, about 20 degrees below normal for this time of the year. Weather track is showing you a little bit of cloud cover just north of our viewing area this morning. It looks like it is sliding off to the east, so not going to bother us today. Our forecast actually calls for plenty of sunshine. Current temperatures, though, are cold once again. We're down in the teens and single digits this morning. The only difference this morning between today and yesterday is there isn't much of a wind today. So 14 here in Madison with really no wind, feels like 14. That's the good news. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. We do have sunshine through the morning with temperatures climbing back into the low 30s by lunchtime. So it is going to be a little bit warmer than yesterday, but still below normal for this time of the year. Here's a look at your high temperatures today. 36 in Watertown and Madison and Lone Rock, 35 in Mineral Point and Janesville. So still a very chilly day. Temperatures will then drop back tonight, but with a light southerly wind, we should only fall into the lower 20s. Couple of storm systems to impact the state as we head towards the upcoming weekend. I know there's a lot of travel with the gun deer hunt season beginning this weekend. Here's a look at GFS Future Track starting Thursday. By Thursday afternoon into night and even Friday morning, there will be some light snow brushing across the northern part of the state. We're not likely to see any of that snow here in southern Wisconsin. However, another system brings a chance for some light snow Friday night into Saturday morning for mainly the southern part of the state. So there is a chance for a little bit of snow in most locations heading into Saturday morning. Amounts are going to be pretty light, and temperatures during the day will actually be above freezing. So some of that snow, if it's out in open areas, will likely melt. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Heading into that opening weekend, it's going to be cold once again. After topping near 40 tomorrow and Friday, we're back down to highs in the low 30s. Those nighttime lows dip back into the teens briefly once again Saturday night into Sunday morning as well. It's time for your First Alert traffic this morning with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. It is a quiet start on the Beltline. Just the usual crowd beginning to show up westbound between Stoughton Road and John Nolan Drive, but really nothing that will delay you at this point. Checking out roads here in Dane County, there are some brake lights popping up on Stoughton Road and Verona Road near the Beltline ramps. No delays downtown yet around the Capitol Square and UW campus. Volume not a factor at this point. And other main routes heading into the city, they're moving along at the posted speeds right now with no crashes or delays. For your First Alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Hattie. 6:15 your time now. A Madison tech business is the latest company to be named the most innovative company of the year.
Yeah, this time it's for products that help families, students, and others put down their phones, imagine that, and keep their technology safe at the same time. So joining us this morning is the Vice President of Business Development for Tech Den, that's Kevin Cullivar, and the Greater Madison Chamber of Commerce President, Zach Brandon. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Yeah, a late night for you? Is this a little bit of an early rise?
Yeah.
A little bit early.
We appreciate it, for sure.
It's always early.
And we got props today. Kevin, we want to start with you and just talking about this product in general, what it does, and, you know, how this idea even came about.
Yeah, so we started with Lock and Charge, which is our parent company, and we do charging, storage, and security of mobile devices in schools and businesses. And what we learned of working with schools is that there are a significant amount of mobile devices out in the market, and especially in the home. And when we started to look at that the average 10-year-old can spend up to 1,000 hours a year in front of a mobile device, we started to think about how can we help solve that problem. Plus, many of us have young kids as well. So we created Tech Den, which is a 2-unit charging, storage, and security device for the home, but it's also the first app-enabled one, so that as a parent I can control the screen time and the amount of time that that device is in the child's hands.
And you guys are still doing business with schools and companies as well that want this kind of technology. I imagine that the use is a little different for them.
The use is different in the workplace or in the school.
Yeah.
Is really about checking in and checking out a device that the school or the business owns.
Sure.
And that's really our DNA, and that's where we started.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the competition itself. How long has it been around? What does it highlight here in Madison?
So the third year we've been on the show to
It's always fun to have you guys on.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It highlights companies that you may not have heard of, but that are making a mark in Madison, are part of the story of momentum that's going on here. That's, that's this idea that Madison is an innovation economy more and more every day, and we want the public to see that, but we also want companies to get recognition for the work that they're doing here and the people they employ here, because these are companies that you may not have heard today, but may be the large employer of tomorrow.
And we just were commenting off camera about how many hardware companies are winning recently. What does that mean for tech business here in Madison?
I think it shows the diversity of our economy. Actually, Dane County has the most diverse economy in the country. So we have more businesses in more sectors than anyone else in the country. And it shows that you can have great hardware companies like Epic, and also our software companies like Epic, and then great hardware companies like Lock and Charge.
Kevin, we got to give you an opportunity to comment on this. We were talking about how you chose Madison and that you could be on the beaches of Perth, Australia right now, and instead are in the tundra. Why on earth did that happen? I mean, what brought you guys here, and what makes Madison, in your eyes, a good place to be a tech business?
Yeah, our roots here are in our distribution company, started here in Madison. And James, our CEO, started traveling back and forth between Perth and Madison and just really fell in love with the community and with the culture and the lifestyle here. And we chose Madison and started on East Wash at a small little one-room shop over on East Wash, and worked our way into the Madison Enterprise Center, which is another thing from MG&E, which we really have a lot of thanks to them for incubating small companies like ourselves. So we started in Perth, Western Australia, and moved our way through the Madison community, and that's how we got here.
And here to stay.
And opportunities keep you here, right?
Yeah, we have over 30 employees, Wisconsin-based employees now, and we're poised for some more growth.
Love to hear that. All right, gentlemen, thanks so much for waking up early with us, and congrats to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, your time right now is 6:19, and speaking of new technology coming to the area, there could soon be a faster ride around downtown Madison. We're talking about a plan for what's called a bus rapid transit system for the city, and how that could change how you get around the Capitol and campus.
And I really, really need to take my kayak racks off my car.
Yeah, you do.
I know, it's so late. We are officially seeing winter temperatures, folks, with a little bit of sun mixed in. Hattie's first alert forecast is after the break on News 3 this morning.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. If you're just waking up this morning, skies are clear, so a lot of sunshine is in our forecast today, but it's going to be another cold day. Here's a live look from the Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam in Platteville. Everything is frosty on the ground this morning, so plan a little extra time to scrape the windshield. Temperatures are in the teens in most locations for us. Camp Douglas is down to 10, though. Wisconsin Dells starts the day at 11. We're 14 here in Madison. Winds are not a huge factor this morning, which is good news. Doesn't feel any colder. Here's a look at your bus stop weather forecast. You're still going to want to bundle up as you head off to school this morning. 14 degrees on the way to school. Temperatures will be back in the mid-30s on the way home, so technically warmer than yesterday, but still below normal for this time of the year. Stay warm today.
All right, we will try. Thank you, Hattie. People living in Grant County have a chance today to share their thoughts on a proposed power line project. The Cardinal Hickory Creek transmission line would stretch through 4 different counties and nearly 40 municipalities, from Middleton to Dubuque, Iowa. The third and final set of public input meetings on that project is happening today over at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Lancaster. Those sessions start at 2 and 6 this afternoon. The DNR and the Public Service Commission will be on hand to explain the approval process, then give the public a chance to speak on it.
The city of Madison is looking into a new mode of transportation to get people from downtown to the UW campus more quickly. WPR is reporting that the city is considering a bus rapid transit line that would cost between $50 and $85 million. It's a limited stop service that decreases the amount of wait time in busy areas, and one of those routes would be downtown, as you would expect. The city's starting to project a project development phase to determine exactly where all of the routes will be. Public meetings on the topic will start on December 12th, and if the project is approved, it could be up and running as soon as 2023.
All right, consider this your reminder. If you park on the street overnight, you're going to want to make sure you park on the right side of the road when you get home from work today. Alternate side parking begins in Madison at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. That means starting tonight and running until March 15th, you'll have to park on the odd side of the street on odd-numbered days and on the even side of the street on even-numbered days between the hours of 1 and 7 in the morning. That goes for the entire city except areas on the isthmus considered to be in the snow emergency zone. The city has been talking about expanding that zone, though, into the Vilas and Greenbush neighborhoods. A good reminder for me because I get a ticket every single year.
I know. It's hard to remember at the very beginning of all of it, right?
It is. All right, 6:25 your time now. We have an update on the shooting at a Madison radio station over the summer. We're going to update you on the suspect who shot into the studio at WORT. That's after the break.
And 4 months after a deadly explosion, Sun Prairie's mayor says all downtown businesses are back open. Christina Laurie looks ahead to today's celebration when News 3 This Morning continues.
While more schools across the state are meeting expectations for student achievement and college readiness, attendance is becoming an issue here in Madison.
Once again, we're teaming up with the Goodman Community Center to feed more than 21,000 people this Thanksgiving. I'm Josh Bruder, live with how your help is needed in making it happen.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to the final half hour of News 3 This Morning. It is 6:29 now on this Wednesday, November 14th. And boy, I hardly recognize Josh without his little red nose and his scarf and his hat and looking a little bit miserable outside.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hattie is still outside and slightly miserable. We'll check in with her now with a look at, surprisingly, Hattie, a little bit of a warmer forecast for today, right?
Yeah, technically warmer today, but still pretty darn cold this morning. Temperatures are down in the teens, but skies are clear, so we welcome the sunshine through the day today. Take a live look from the Edgewater Sky Cam. Downtown Madison, clear skies, kind of a cold start though. Temperatures are even colder than they were yesterday at this time. Temps are down in the mid to low teens in many spots. 11 in Boscobel and the Dells, 10 in Camp Douglas, 14 here in Madison, and 16 in Janesville. So bundle up as you head out the door this morning. We'll have sunshine today and a light southerly wind, so that will actually help temperatures to climb above the freezing point to highs in the middle 30s, so not as bad as it was yesterday. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. So far, things have been pretty quiet in the area, and that stays the same right now. We're not seeing any major accidents or slowdowns, just a few brake lights showing up on the belt line near Stoughton Road, but your drive times into Madison are still looking normal. You're going at posted speeds. And that's your first alert traffic.
Thank you so much, Hattie. We are learning more this morning about a shooting at a Madison radio station a few months ago. A search warrant now shows the suspect in that shooting at WORT back in August had a conflict with one of the DJs working at the station that night. According to the warrant, that suspect was a former WORT employee who was in the same religious group as the DJ he shot. One other person was hurt during that incident. Police were able to connect an SUV seen on traffic cameras around the station with the suspect. 6:31 right now, 4 months after a deadly explosion destroyed a good part of downtown Sun Prairie. The city is holding a ceremonial ribbon cutting this afternoon.
It symbolizes the end of reconstruction on Main Street. Christina Laurie is in the news center this morning with why city leaders are amazed at how quickly they've been able to rebuild. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, ladies. Sun Prairie City Administrator Aaron Oppenheimer says it's impressive the downtown is holding this celebration just 4 months after that deadly explosion, especially since everything that's been rebuilt is actually here to stay. The city had the option of doing a temporary fix just to get the area open through the winter and then fully reconstructing everything next year. But instead, they opted to make a permanent fix so that area wouldn't have to be closed twice. Oppenheimer said a lot of the damage happened to utility lines under the streets, so crews had to safely remove rubble that contained asbestos and lead paint before work could even begin. Now, while downtown businesses are ready to welcome customers, Main Street is not fully reopened. The DOT has until December 1st to finish that project, but they're expected to be done even sooner than that. Governor Scott Walker has been invited to attend today's ribbon cutting. Mayor Paul Esser says Walker's been instrumental in the rebuilding process. The ceremony starts at 3:30 on the 100 block of Main Street.
All right, Christina Laurie reporting live for us in the news center. Thank you, Christina.
Madison City Alders will not have to work another long night to approve its 2019 budget. The State Journal reports the nearly $680 million budget was approved around 1:30 a.m. It includes almost $60 million to overhaul Metro Transit facilities, close to $6 million for flood mitigation, and nearly $3 million to plan for reconstruction on John Nolan Drive. It did not include funding for a police body camera pilot program.
A major development downtown has hit another snag as Alders rejected a $600,000 payment to keep Judge Doyle Square on track. Beitler Real Estate was hired to develop that. Hotel, apartments, garage, and retail space are taking the place of the old parking lot on East Doty. Beitler sued the city back in June, claiming it was trying to take over part of the project known as the Podium for financial gains. It later dropped the suit, but still wanted additional payment. The $600,000 could have kept that work on schedule, but it was voted down last night due in part to concerns about future litigation. So now the city will have to renegotiate with Beitler. But Mayor Paul Soglin says he is confident in the city's partnership with that company.
State lawmakers will meet today to try to keep paper products company Kimberly-Clark Clark from closing a plant in northern Wisconsin. The legislature's Joint Finance Committee will hold a public hearing this morning on whether the company should get tax benefits to keep their plant in Fox Crossing open. That incentives package could cost up to $100 million. Governor Walker has asked lawmakers to approve it, but leaders in the Senate say they're not sure they have enough votes to pass it. The state assembly has already passed the bill earlier this year. Kimberly Clark says they're delaying any decision to close the plant, which employs 500 people, until after the legislature makes a decision. That public hearing starts at 10 this morning at the Capitol.
A new report shows more private and public schools across the state are meeting expectations compared to the previous year. The Department of Public Instruction's latest report cards show 96% of Wisconsin's 422 public school districts met those standards. Scores are calculated based on 4 criteria. Those include student achievement, school growth, closing gaps between student groups, and post-secondary readiness. However, there were some issues with attendance at more schools than ever before. 3 districts and 125 schools were docked points for failing to keep absentee rates below 13%.
The State Journal reports Waunakee was the top-rated district in Dane County. It's got a 5-star rating, and it's among the top 12% of districts in the state. Cambridge, Marshall, Stoughton, Verona, and Madison all received 3-star ratings, indicating they are meeting expectations. The Madison School District did improve 1.5 points from the previous year's report card. East and La Follette, though, both saw issues with attendance. We have a full list of report card scores up on channel3000.com.
All right, starting Saturday, the Goodman Community Center here in Madison will distribute Thanksgiving baskets to thousands of families in need.
Yeah, we here at News 3 are proud to team up with that organization yet again, but we still need thousands of turkeys and fixings to get everybody fed this holiday. Josh Spreiter is live in the Goodman Center gym that we're hoping to fill with donations over the next couple of days. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, ladies. Yes, we have a pretty good start right now, but the hope is to fill that whole space behind me with all of those meals to feed nearly 3,500 families. That's 21,000 people next week for Thanksgiving. WISC is once again partnering up with the Goodman Community Center and the UW Athletic Department. We hope to provide baskets with all of the food necessary for a traditional Thanksgiving meal. Right now, we need everything from frozen turkeys, stuffing mix, and canned vegetables. It's also as easy as a cash donation that gives Goodman the needs to buy turkeys and perishable items in bulk at discounted rates. It also takes a lot of volunteers to make Thanksgiving baskets a success. The center will be accepting those basket drop-offs today. And some of the most simple things that people often forget about, like cranberry sauce and broth, are also really important for them to be able to get everything they need. A lot of times people say, like Sam was mentioning, they aren't sexy enough to buy, so people often won't get them. But there's a lot of things that you guys can buy. They'll be open again from 11 to 5 today, and they'll be doing this all the way through the weekend. The sooner the better to get this done so they can get all of those families fed next week. So a lot going on here and a very good cause, and time to get into the giving spirit. I know I am already. I've got the Thanksgiving sweater on, sporting my inner Chris Reese this morning, so it's that time of the year, ladies.
Josh, was that a direct quote? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, that is a direct quote from Sam. They're not sexy enough, so we want to make sure that we can get everything. Remember, it doesn't always have to be the sexy thing to be the most.
I was just going to compliment him on his sweater.
There you go.
All right, Josh Spreiter reporting live for us. Thank you, Josh.
A lot still needed over there, so make sure to drop something off if you can. All right, there is a conversation happening later today about how school discipline policies can impact the number of kids with criminal records. It's a topic Madison's police chief, the Dane County District Attorney, and the schools here are talking about a lot recently.
We're going to talk about it next. And there's a rare chance to hear some of the songs that got survivors of the Holocaust through their time in concentration camps. We're previewing a once-in-a-lifetime event on the UW campus when News 3 This Morning returns.
Welcome back. There's a special performance tonight on the UW campus that shares lost songs of the Holocaust.
Menschen fallen wie die Flingen, nur verhungert und verkehrt. Unser Mucke, unser Zorn, wissen wir die ganze Welt.
Yiddish Glory is a group that shares those songs written by victims and survivors of the Holocaust, describing Nazi atrocities during World War II, I should say. Those songs and stories have been preserved, and now we get to hear them for the first time since 1947. This afternoon's performance starts at 4 o'clock in Union South.
Tonight, there's another opportunity for you to see a 2-time Grammy-winning choir for free. That right there is the Soweto Gospel Choir, made up of members from South Africa. They say their goal is to share the joy of faith through music with audiences around the world. The choir has performed with some singing greats, including Aretha Franklin, Celine Dion, and Stevie Wonder. Tonight there is a free pre-concert performance in the Overture Center lobby from 6 until 7. I know our producer Melissa's pretty excited about that.
Pretty cool.
I am too. That sounds neat. All right, 6:42 your time now. There is some more cold weather headed our way this Wednesday. The silver lining, though, the sun. Sunrise is officially just before 7. We're already seeing it peak up over Madison. Gorgeous. It's going to stick around all day. Hattie's in next with your forecast.
But first, it is November 14th. We want to say happy birthday to David, TJ, and all the kids turning 3 today. Thanks for letting us help you celebrate here on News 3 This Morning.
Good morning from the News 3 First Alert Weather Center. It's been a pretty cold month so far. We are almost halfway through the month, and take a look at the temperatures averaged out. We're 6.5 degrees below normal for this time of the month, and you can see most days shaded blue, indicating temperatures were colder than they should be. Now, as far as precipitation is concerned, we're still in third place as far as wettest years ever here in Madison. 48.26 inches of rain. First place year 1881, over 52, almost 53 inches of rain. So still several inches out of that first place spot. And no rain in the forecast for us for the next couple of days. Things are pretty dry across the upper Midwest. There will be a couple of clipper systems moving through, impacting the northern part of the state, but things stay dry for southern Wisconsin. Also a system to our south bringing some rain again to parts of Kentucky, as well as southern Indiana and Ohio later on today. That system is going to get close. Chicago could see some of that precipitation in the form of snow on Thursday, but it looks like it will stay south of the Badger State. There's our next clipper system impacting northern Wisconsin Thursday into Friday. We do have a chance for light precipitation, though, here in the southern part of the state heading into the weekend. Right now, though, let's look at some of those temperatures. The map looks a little different than it did yesterday. What you'll notice is that temperatures are significantly warmer out to the west. Bismarck yesterday, I believe, was at 1 degree. Now they're at 23. We're still cold here, though, in the western Great Lakes area with temperatures in the teens. 14 here in Madison, 18 in Mineral Point, only 12 in the Dells this morning. So bundle up. Winds are very light across southern Wisconsin, so not much of a wind chill to factor in this morning. A few spots, Platteville and Lone Rock, it feels like it's in the single digits, but most areas aren't dealing with much of a wind. Your Pinpoint City forecast highs today, 35 in New Glarus and 36 in Middleton. Still cold for this time of the year, but warmer than yesterday. Pinpoint City forecast highs to the west, 37 in Prairie du Chien, as well as Muscoda. And to the north, we're looking at 35 in Mauston. Adams tops at 33 degrees. Now let's take a closer look at some of those snow chances for the area as we head into the weekend. Late Thursday into Friday, that system may bring some light snow to northern Wisconsin. So if you have travel plans for the weekend, keep that in mind. Then again, late Friday into Saturday morning, a chance for some light snow here across the southern part of the state. Amounts are generally going to be pretty light with both of these systems. We're looking at less than an inch of snow accumulation in most spots. Now here's a look at that extended forecast. We do warm it up a little bit for the end of this week with highs near 40 tomorrow and Friday. There is that chance for light snow early Saturday, but overall cold temperatures heading into the upcoming weekend. Highs are back in the low 30s. Take a look at Sergeant Mia in Sun Prairie.
That took me a minute to find Mia.
What a sweet ride. Glasses and everything. It's a little cold for the cycle today.
She's going to be borrowing the fur hats.
She's and a lot of leather jackets. My goodness.
That's great.
All right. We salute you, Sergeant Mia, and thank you, Hattie.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next.
6:52 time now for the morning sprint. Hattie says it'll stay chilly even with the sun making an appearance today. Christina Lori's talking about the official reopening of downtown Sun Prairie 4 months after the deadly explosion there.
And Josh Spreiter's talking about how you can support a community effort to get a warm meal to everyone in Dane County this Thanksgiving. But we start in Baraboo, where one of the students in the controversial photograph where a number of high schoolers are giving a Nazi salute is apologizing. Brock Turkington is in that picture. He apologized on behalf of everyone else, saying the gesture wasn't meant to be anti-Semitic. He says the photographer asked them to give the high sign, and many of them didn't know what that meant, but they stuck their arm out after the photographer demonstrated that gesture.
The man who took the picture remembers it differently. Peter Gus says he was asking the boys to wave goodbye to their parents, and the photo caught them each at different stages of that wave. He told a Milwaukee reporter the country is, quote, dead wrong in interpreting the photo showing a Nazi salute.
The FBI's hate crimes report for last year shows a more than 17% increase from 2016 to 2017. 80% of victims were targeted because of their race, their ethnicity, or their religion. Here in Wisconsin, there were 46 hate crimes in 2017. Religious bias was the largest motivating factor in those crimes, with religious hate crimes doubling between 2016 and 17 in the state.
4 months after a deadly explosion ripped apart the city's downtown, Sun Prairie is ready to reopen. This afternoon, city leaders will hold a ceremonial ribbon cutting symbolizing the end of their downtown Main Street reconstruction project. The city had the option of doing a temporary fix just to get the area open through winter and then reconstructing everything next year, but they instead opted to make a permanent fix so they wouldn't have to close that area twice. Governor Scott Walker has been invited to the ceremony, which starts at 3:30 this afternoon on the 100 block of Main Street.
Christina, thank you. There's a conversation happening today about the connection between zero-tolerance discipline policies in schools and how that can land more young people in prison. Dane County Judge Everett Mitchell is leading that discussion today with the Madison Rotary Club. He'll share how judges are working to challenge those policies that he says disproportionately affect students of color. That happens at noon at the Park Hotel in downtown Madison.
There is a third wildfire burning this morning in California as thousands of first responders continue to fight the deadliest and most destructive fire in that state's history. The Camp Fire in Northern California has killed 48 people so far. Recovery crews are still searching for the hundreds still missing. The newest fire is spreading in Ventura County, that's east of LA.
As you head out the door this morning, temperatures are only in the teens across southern Wisconsin. It is a chilly start to the day with 14 here in Madison, 16 in Janesville and Platteville. Temperatures are expected to climb, though, back into the mid-30s this afternoon with a light south wind and lots of sunshine.
Thank you, Hattie. Madison Alders will not have to work another long night to approve their 2019 budget. The State Journal reports the nearly $680 million budget was approved around 1:30 a.m. It includes almost $60 million to overhaul Metro Transit facilities, close to $6 million for flood mitigation, and another $3 million to plan for reconstruction on John Nolan Drive. It did not include funding for a police body camera pilot program.
The city is preparing for disruptions at next year's farmers market. Storm, sewer, and water main reconstruction is planned for around the Capitol Square from March until August next year. That work will block off parts of the sidewalk, taking away space from about a quarter of the vendors there. The city's Street Use Commission will brainstorm possible solutions at its meeting tonight.
A Sun Prairie man who plays trumpet for the Army is asking for his instrument back after it was stolen on Veterans Day. Staff Sergeant Matthew Miller was in Milwaukee this past weekend when someone broke into his truck and stole the trumpet from his back seat. It's the same one he plays at military funerals and the same one he took on tour in Iraq. After a huge social media response and offers to buy him a new one, Miller says he just wants his old trumpet back.
I'm Josh Butter, live at the Goodman Community Center, where starting today you have the chance to feed around 21,000 people. That's nearly 3,500 families who normally wouldn't be able to afford a Thanksgiving meal. Once again, we are partnering up with the Goodman Community Center and UW Athletic Department to provide a basket to nearly 3,500 families with all the food necessary for a traditional Thanksgiving meal. We need everything from frozen turkeys, stuffing mix, and canned veggies, just to name a few. A cash donation will also help Goodman buy turkeys and perishable items. Today is the first day you could drop off those baskets. The center will be open for food from 11 to 5 today. They'll also be accepting donations over the next few days. Just go to channel3000.com to find out how you can help.
Thank you, Josh. Things are already busy over at Goodman. Let's see if they're busy out on the roads with Josh Tim. Hi, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. It's still looking pretty good on the Beltline. Just a few slowdowns showing up westbound near the Stoughton Road exit. Usual brake lights are beginning to show up inbound John Nolan near the Rimrock and Olin Avenue intersections, moving into downtown. Northbound side of Rona Road, you're picking up near the Beltline, but other main routes heading into the city, they're moving along at the usual speeds with no major crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh.
And we do have sunshine this morning, but it's a pretty chilly start to the day. Here's a live look from the Edgewater Sky Cam. Sun is up over downtown Madison. Temperatures, though, still in the teens. We'll look for temps to climb back into the mid-30s this afternoon with a lot of sunshine and a light southerly wind. We're actually going to make it into the 40s tomorrow, briefly though, before we're back into the 30s for the upcoming weekend.
Enjoy that sunshine today, and it's a perfect day to go grab some groceries, maybe drop off a couple of them over at the Goodman Community Center for that Thanksgiving drive. Have a great Wednesday, you guys.